absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit
You won't believe the latest bombshell surrounding Dalton's very own Tiffany Henyard, or should we say, super mayor. From living in luxury to hitting rock bottom, Tiffany's journey has been nothing short of a roller coaster. But here's the real shocker. She's reportedly bankrupt, and now begging the very people she once ruled over for money. Yes, you heard that right. She's allegedly asking Dalton residents for a staggering $10 million just to keep up with her lavish lifestyle. Get ready, because this story is full of shocking twists, and we're about to unpack it all for you.
Legal appointment, that's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next step.
Debt, and that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered...
Let's rewind and take a look at the rise and fall of Tiffany Henyard. Not too long ago, she was living like royalty. Luxurious trips, top-tier security, and tossing around taxpayer money like it was play money. She wasn't shy about showing it off either. Remember those massive welcome banners with her face plastered all over town? She allegedly spent nearly $200,000, and just on those. But now, after years of reckless spending, she's reportedly flat broke, and things are spiraling out of control. Before we dive into Tiffany's mountain of debt, let's break down how she got to this point. Tiffany treated taxpayer funds like her personal piggy bank, and she didn't hold back. Spending nearly $200,000 on welcome banners. Absurd, especially when the average household income in Dalton is less than $30,000, and it was like she had an unlimited credit line, signed by the people of Dalton, and she was more than happy to cash it in. While Tiffany was living it up, Dalton was falling apart. The fire department hadn't had a proper contract in 5 years. Yes, you heard that right, the very heroes who risked their lives daily couldn't even get a deal in place. Yet, Tiffany was spending thousands on banners for a town that was literally crumbling around her. And that's not even the worst of it. While Dalton was drowning in debt, Tiffany was reportedly living it up in Vegas, with the bills allegedly picked up by the very taxpayers she was supposed to be serving. And here's where it gets even wilder. Not only was Tiffany splurging taxpayer money on lavish trips, but she also had a full-on security detail trailing her every step. And it wasn't just for local appearances. Her entourage allegedly followed her on those extravagant vacations too, racking up costs for the village that ran into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some officers were reportedly making over $133,000 and in just one pay period, and that was all in overtime. To put that in perspective, that's more than what some residents of Dalton earn in 3 or even 4 years.
Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor and people's super...
Like Tiffany forgot she was supposed to be running a town, not living like a celebrity. The big difference? Celebrities spend their own money, but Tiffany was blowing through taxpayer funds, leaving Dalton to deal with the fallout. Things got so out of hand that the company behind those flashy welcome banners is still waiting to get paid, and they're not the only ones.
We knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said,
But wait, it gets even crazier. Tiffany didn't just burn through public funds, she reportedly piled up millions in loans. And here's the kicker, she allegedly used the town's infrastructure as collateral. You can't make this stuff up. Now that she can't pay it back, creditors are knocking at the door, and once again, it's the taxpayers of Dalton left holding the bag. It's a full-blown financial disaster.
Motion to terminate Keith Free.
And if you thought that was bad, wait until you hear about Tiffany's side hustle with Section 8 housing. Tiffany allegedly saw the government's housing assistance program as her personal cash cow. She owned a property in horrible condition, think severe mold, water damage, the whole nightmare, but she was still cashing in government checks. She reportedly didn't make a single repair and just pocketed the subsidies. How did she get away with it? Well, let's just say the inspection history of her property was about as shady as it gets. Despite the property being labeled uninhabitable by 2019, she allegedly kept collecting money like nothing was wrong. Unbelievable, right? What's even worse is that while Tiffany was playing slumlord, the people living in her property were suffering. These were individuals already struggling, forced to live in awful conditions. Tiffany's job was to ensure they had decent housing, but instead, she was allegedly pocketing the cash. It's not just wrong, it's downright heartbreaking. And this scandal is just one piece of the much bigger puzzle when it comes to Tiffany's reign as mayor. Financial mismanagement, corruption claims, and scandal after scandal. It's like every time someone digs a little deeper into Dalton, another layer of drama just tumbles out.
Questionable spending by a South suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard. But we only knew half.
And speaking of drama, the FBI is officially involved now. That's right. Tiffany's reckless spending habits and financial mismanagement have caught the attention of federal investigators. This is no longer just a local issue. The FBI is diving deep into her finances, and they're not messing around. They've issued subpoenas not just for her personal transactions, but for the entire township's financial records. They're determined to trace every penny she's touched, and what they're uncovering is pretty sensational. Tiffany didn't just blow money on welcome banners and luxury trips. She allegedly used taxpayer funds for all sorts of personal indulgences, from extravagant vacations to a security entourage that could rival Hollywood stars. It's as if she believed the mayor's office came with an unlimited credit card for her personal use.
Go and investigate people around her, and that's what.
Here's where things get even more intense. None other than former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has been brought in to assist with the investigation. That's right, Lori is now overseeing the probe, and she's not holding back. She's been relentlessly exposing Tiffany's financial mismanagement at every turn, and with each new discovery, more skeletons are tumbling out of Tiffany's closet. With Halloween just around the corner, it almost feels too fitting for all these skeletons to be making their appearance now. And it's looking worse for Tiffany by the day.
She did to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1990.
While the FBI is busy piecing together Tiffany's trail of financial destruction, the people of Dalton are understandably furious. They trusted her to lead their town, but instead, she's led them into a financial nightmare. Local business owners and former employees are now cooperating with the feds, spilling all the details. It's like everyone has a story about Tiffany's alleged misconduct, and they're eager to contribute to the investigation. As the pressure intensifies, Tiffany seems to be pulling a disappearing act. She's reportedly missed 25 board meetings, vanished from public appearances, and hasn't been seen for what feels like forever. Imagine your mayor going MIA while the town falls apart. But wait, here's where it gets even crazier. Rumor has it, Tiffany has been selling off her personal belongings just to stay afloat. The same woman who once lived like royalty is now desperately scrambling to gather whatever cash she can. Dalton is in utter chaos without its leader. Things have gotten so bad that the village board had to appoint trustee Jason House as interim mayor just to keep things running. Imagine that, your town is falling apart, and they need a stand-in mayor because the real one is nowhere to be found. It's like something out of a reality show. And just when you thought Tiffany couldn't sink any lower, she pulls the ultimate, desperate move, a GoFundMe page. Yep, you heard that right. The same woman who treated taxpayer money like it was nothing is now asking regular people to donate their hard-earned cash to help her out. Can you believe the audacity? After years of extravagant spending on luxury trips, massive security details, and flashy banners, Tiffany is now out here begging for donations. The public's response? Well, let's just say they're not exactly lining up to help her. Some are furious, while others are simply laughing at the absurdity of it all. How do you go from living like a Kardashian to setting up a GoFundMe page? That's not all. People are starting to wonder if this GoFundMe is even legitimate. Is Tiffany really that broke, or is this just another one of her schemes? Let's not forget, this woman has a history of questionable moves. Some believe this is just her latest attempt to squeeze more cash out of people before disappearing for good. They're convinced she'll take whatever she can get and vanish faster than you can ask, "Where's the mayor?" And honestly, they might not be far off. Tiffany has been MIA for months, selling off her personal belongings, and now asking for donations. It's starting to look like she's gearing up to skip town, leaving Dalton to clean up the mess. Meanwhile, the town's police department can't even afford to keep its cars running, the fire department is still waiting on a contract, and the town's credit is in shambles. Yet, here's Tiffany acting like she's the one who needs help. Despite all the chaos, Tiffany's GoFundMe has somehow raised over $115,000 and, yep, you read that right, people are actually donating. Some folks must have really deep pockets, because how is she getting this much support after everything that's happened? But let's be real. $115,000 and isn't even going to make a dent in the millions she reportedly owes. It's like trying to put out a wildfire with a squirt gun. Now, people are really starting to wonder, is this GoFundMe Tiffany's legitimate cry for help, or just another scheme to get more cash? Should she be held accountable for all the financial damage she's caused in Dalton? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned, because something tells us we haven't heard the last of Tiffany Henyard. Catch you in the next one.